I'm joined by author of Anonymous Mom Post, Jenifer Goldin. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I think this is intriguing because we're like, ooh, Anonymous Mom Post. I want to know what moms say. I am not a mom yet, unless dog mom, totally different.
Dog mom counts.
Okay, does it? Probably those with kids. I've said that before, and those with kids are like, meh, not quite.
I don't know. The dog might be my favorite kid.
That's true. Yes, in that instance, true, fur babies. But I think I have a respect for how hard it is of a job to be a mom. Obviously, not the full spectrum of respect that will probably come to me when I do finally have children, but I think it's a really hard job. Like, I even think about certain situations we see on schools and just things we're hearing about and things changing. Like, I even think back to the pandemic, and I was thinking about, like, what would I want to do if I was in high school during this time, and then the parent, trying to help their children. So it's a difficult job. Tell us a little bit about the book and why you wrote. This is your fourth book.
This is the fourth book I've written. It's going to be my first release.
Yeah.
I was actually in the middle of writing my second book when the idea for this book kept coming to mind.
Okay, yeah.
I am on several mom pages, and anytime I would see an anonymous post, I would really wonder, like, what happened? What led them to write the post? How did it resolve? And I kept just kind of thinking, like, what happened with these posts and these people?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a book. So I put aside book 2 and started writing Anonymous Mom Posts. And there is just so much material out there, just the way these Facebook groups operate. There was an avenue for humor in the book, but there was also an avenue for deep kind of emotional experiences in the book. So I had so much fun writing the book because I was able to blend kind of the humor and the snark of the mom groups with life's more serious issues.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what was so compelling that this actually made you put aside another project you were working on and prioritize this one?
I don't know. I really am a very deeply empathetic person. And when somebody's struggling, it's hard for me to let that go. So I would see posts and I would just be like, God, how is that mom doing? And how is she coping? And almost in a way, writing the book was a way for me to work through that fear that I had for the mom in my own way.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what, I read a couple of stories, but I'd love to hear if there was one that stood out to you.
Gosh, I love them all. They're all different, and they all are very meaningful to me for a different reasons. I don't know that I could say one in particular, and I think that all the characters showed tremendous growth from beginning to end. So I feel like they all really learned something, and I don't know that I can pick just one.
Yeah. Well, I read this story about Nora.
Yes.
Who is this young lady, and you're kind of reading through, but it was discovered at a young age that she was deaf, and so the parents are going through trying to decide basically the best avenue of treatment, through implants or sign language, and just trying to process the fact that their daughter can't hear. And the mom shared this story of the day that they found out. And that, as I was scrolling through, was one of the gut-wrenching stories that, again, I can't imagine you go through this process of, carrying this child for 9 months as a mother, and then, you just want everything to be perfect.
Right.
And so I know that must be heartbreaking, especially when something happens to your child and you just feel hopeless, really, or unable to help them.
So, my professional career is as a pediatric cochlear implant audiologist. Okay. So, obviously, I borrowed heavy from my personal experience in that field.
Yeah.
In that particular story. And that's a story that had been percolating in my mind for a long time because I've worked with so many babies who got this gift of getting a cochlear implant. And then I would sometimes wonder what happens later in life, you know, if they want to explore their deafness. And so it was a story I had played around a lot with in my mind, and I really enjoyed writing that one. I had sensitivity readers on both sides. So I had oral deaf implant users read and weigh in on what they thought rang true and what didn't. And then I had a deaf culture reader also comment, and she really had a lot to say. And it's interesting because I was in the field for so long. I even went to Gallaudet University for my master's, which is, to go there as an undergrad, you have to be deaf. So I felt fairly in touch with deaf culture, but working with the deaf sensitivity reader, she really helped me even come to some more realizations. And it's a tricky topic, oral deaf versus signing deaf. I really hope in my heart I did both sides justice. I tried very hard to kind of show there's great things about implants and there's great things about being part of deaf culture.